Whether you bond over streaming binge-worthy videos, watching sports recaps, video gaming, or by unplugging altogether, the 2026 Lincoln Nautilus Hybrid helps keep you connected throughout your journey. Learn more at Lincoln.com. Available connectivity features and functionality vary by model. Package pricing, trials, and term lengths vary by model. Video streaming and games are only available while parked.
I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire an energy vampire. But also they're a literal vampire. And suddenly my team is spending all their time sharpening wooden stakes and buying bulk silver and rehearsing ancient chants, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant takes insights from over 1 billion professionals to create a short list of the best fits for you. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I'm the Executive Director of the National Street Food Vendors Association, and what we do is educate, advocate, and help food vendors win. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about coaching and give you a whole bunch of excuses that I've heard over the years on why people don't need coaching. Have you ever noticed the people that need coaching the most are the same ones that have a PhD in excuses? They'll DM me, they'll email me, they will catch me at the Food Truck Owners Expo, and they'll say, Bill, I'm struggling. My food cost is out of control. My labor is killing me. My sales are down. I'm tired. I'm burned out. I feel stuck. Then I say, okay, let's fix that. Here's the coaching, here's the process, here's the system. Let's get to work. And then all of a sudden, they change. They become professional escape artists. They say, I love what you do, Bill, but... And then they give me a whole bunch of feeble excuses like they're reading off a menu at Taco Bell. They'll say things like, I'm too busy right now. Really? You're too busy putting out fires to learn how to stop putting out fires? Give me a break. You got time to scroll through Facebook. You got time to complain on every food truck group out there about how terrible things are for you, but you don't have time to fix it? How contrary is that? You're not too busy. Your schedule's just controlled by chaos, and you love chaos, whether you want to admit it or not. A plan means you got to be organized. A plan means you got to do something. Putting out fires constantly is busy work, makes you feel like you're being productive, but the business is doing exactly what you're telling me it's having problems with. Food costs out of control, labor's out of control, sales are down, I have no employees. All the things that you are probably facing, I hear every single day, and people don't want to do anything about it. Then they'll say, well, I'm not too busy, but I really can't afford it. So let's talk about what you can afford. You can afford to lose $200 a day in bad food costs, food you're throwing away, food that you're overportioning. You can afford to throw away product because you over prep, and nobody came today. You can afford to sit in a dead parking lot 3 days in a row because you don't have a marketing plan, but coaching's too expensive for you? Come on. If your fryer was leaking oil, you'd find the money to fix it. If your truck broke down on the way to what you knew was going to be a $10,000 weekend, you'd figure out something real quick so you could get there. But when it's your brain that needs an upgrade, when it's your attitude that needs an upgrade, suddenly you have no money in the wallet, no money in the bank account to do anything. You don't have a money problem, you've got a priorities problem. How about this excuse? I'm not ready. I need to get my ducks in a row first. Well, let me help you out with that. The ducks are never going to line up for you. You're running a food truck, not a petting zoo. I'm waiting till we get through this season. I'm waiting till we get my new wrap. I'm waiting until we move to the new commissary. I'm waiting until we finish the menu change. You've been waiting for 3 years. You've been waiting for 5 years. You weren't ready when you bought the truck. You weren't ready when you did your first event and the line hit you. You weren't ready when the health inspector stepped in that very first time, but you learned on the fly, didn't you? You figured it out. So why all of a sudden do you need everything to be perfect before you get something that'll help you run your business? I've heard, I can figure it out on my own. There's ChatGPT. Oh, really? If figuring it out on your own worked, you wouldn't be venting about how slow your days are and how low your profits are. You wouldn't be Googling how to price my menu at midnight before an event. You wouldn't be asking strangers in Facebook groups for legal advice, tax advice, food cost advice, or every other single advice we see on these public groups. But you can figure it out on your own, can't you? What you're really saying is, I'm too proud to admit I need help. The restaurant chains that you compete with, they've got trainers, because I used to be one, for a whole bunch of different companies. I'm not some guy with some Phoenix story about lost my job in tech and I figured I'd have to run a hot dog cart or bought myself a food truck, didn't know what I was doing and failed and failed and failed. And all of a sudden, everything turned around. Those big companies didn't do that. They planned. So they have trainers, they got manuals, they got playbooks, they got consultants, they got regional directors, they got people that are going to hopefully find the mistakes before they get widespread and fix them. Nobody in the corporate world says, nah, let's just wing it. Dave Thomas didn't build a building and go, hey dudes, what are we going to sell? He knew exactly what he was going to sell, how he was going to sell it, and he created a prototype restaurant that other places copied. And you can still see those in existence today. The single line system that you see in so many restaurants, Dave Thomas came up with that. Nobody lets that cook just figure out how to cook the food. They train them. But you know what? You spend $100,000 on a food truck and we're just going to figure it out on our own, work on our vibes and our guesswork. Let's go. How about this excuse? What if it doesn't work for me? Well, that's a sneaky one. That's a quiet one. What if I sign up and I'm the one person that this can't help? What if I'm too far gone? What if I'm too messy? What if I'm too far behind? Well, what if? You already know how that story ends because you've told it before. You didn't do a festival because you were scared you'd lose money. Oh, it cost too much. I can't go there. You didn't try a new menu item because you were scared no one would like it. You didn't raise prices because you were afraid your guests would complain to your face, and then you'd have to explain why you raised the menu prices. You stayed safe, and guess what? You're stuck. Here's the truth. Coaching doesn't magically fix anything. Coaching gives you a roadmap so you can finally move the needle instead of just spinning your wheels and going, I am not moving. How about this excuse? I don't want someone telling me what to do. Good news. Nobody wants to run your food truck for you. I certainly don't. I've got all my own scars and burn marks everywhere. Thanks. I'm not setting foot on your food truck. I ain't telling you what to do. Coaching isn't about someone standing over you and barking out orders. Some people need that, but that's not what coaching does. It's about me saying, here are systems that work. I can prove they work. We've borrowed stuff from all the big companies, put it in the food trucks and hot dog carts that I ran. We know this stuff works. I'm going to show you what to measure. I'm going to teach you how to think about profit. I'm not going to hype everything and make you feel like there's a magic wand that's going to pass over your business. I'm going to put you to work, but you're the one's got to do the work. You still are going to make every single decision. You are still going to craft the menu. You're still going to choose the events. You're going to do the interviewing and training and hiring of your team. What's the difference? You're going to know why you're doing what you're doing. You're going to understand what it's costing you when you don't do those things. If your ego is driving your food truck, guess where your profit is? Nowhere. Here's the things that really bug me. Some of the food truck owners out there are half an inch away from being a completely different business. They're one menu pricing change away from being able to pay themselves. They're one scheduling system away from controlling their off days and not being a shopper and a cook and a prep and a storage guy and all of the things you do on your off days right now. You can actually enjoy yourself, enjoy your family, rest and relax. They're one marketing plan away from having a line when everybody else is whining about how bad the economy is, about no one come to my food truck. But instead of reaching out, instead of investing in yourself, instead of saying, all right, somebody show me the playbook, you cling to your excuses like a soggy paper bag. So let me ask you, how long are you going to keep repeating the same year over and over and over, crossing your fingers and hoping next year is the year? How many more seasons are you going to call a learning experience before you actually decide to learn on purpose? How many more nights are you going to stare at your sales report and hope next month just magically gets better? At some point, you got to decide, are you running a business or is the business running you? You don't need another motivational quote. You don't need somebody cheerleading and telling you how awesome things can be. You don't need another someday this will happen for you. You need to say right now, I'm done with guessing. I'm done with winging it. I am letting fear and pride control me, and it's keeping me broke. It's keeping me exhausted. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You bought the truck, you signed the loan, you put your name on the menu, finish the sentence, get the coaching, get the help, get the system. You're not going to figure it out on your own because you haven't already. Whether it's with me or somebody else who actually knows this industry, and there's not a whole lot of people that actually know it. There's a whole lot of people that know how to sell crap, But there's not a whole lot of people that have wrapped a hamburger. There's not a whole lot of people that have done a successful food truck. The only reason I'm talking to you today is because I have retired. I don't need to run my food truck all the time. I've done the weekends that most people wish they could do. I can teach you how to do it. I'm not one of those coaches that's all theory. Let AI tell me what to say. Ask me a question. You know I got an answer. Your guests deserve better. Your family deserves better. So what's it going to be? Another year of excuses? Or are you finally acting like a CEO, rolling up your sleeves and learning what you need to learn? There are literally hundreds of CEOs that have multiple mentors, multiple coaches to help them stay on top of their game. You need the same thing. Join our association. Get the kind of coaching that you're going to need. We do group coaching. Going to be doing that twice a week in the coming year, 2026. If you can't afford the full membership, do it monthly. $19. Attend every single group coaching that I do. Attend every single live event that I do, and there'll be 48 of them next year. You can watch them all from the comfort of your home. It's all about you, but you got to make that decision. I can't hold your hand, but I can point you in the right direction. All right, that's about 10 minutes. So I hope that this helped you. If it did, I want you to do two things. I want you to follow the podcast, subscribe, show some support. And then if you haven't already, join the National Street Food Vendors Association. There'll be a link in the description so you can make both of those things happen. I want you to have a successful 2026, but it starts with you investing in yourself.